for the pledge of allegiance, followed by moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now for a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the communication from patrons, and I don't see any patrons from the public present today, so we will move forward. Next, we have the approval of the minutes, and in our packets, we received copies of the regular board meeting minutes from November 17th, as well as the special meeting from November 24th, and we've all had the opportunity to review those.
I move we accept both minutes.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Next, we have the approval of some personnel changes, and Carrie, I'll let you go through that.
So this is just a short list that Mr. Mills sent to me for approval for the upcoming production, the musical production that will happen this spring. These are some extracurricular stipends that we give to these four people and helping put everything together. So I would just ask that you consider their approval tonight so that they do outstanding work, and if you've been to our schools before, you see that it all comes together very nicely, and it takes a team effort.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the personnel changes as listed? So moved. Second? Second. Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next we have the LWC project update. Greg could not be here tonight, and so he has given Carrie all of the information she needs, so if you would bring us up to speed, that'd be wonderful.
I'm going to give you a very brief update. Greg or Kevin or both will be here in January to give this. They had a conflict tonight. And it wasn't anything pressing that we had to get done tonight, so January it is. But basically, we have continued to work with them behind the scenes. As you know, we're working really hard on our bond process. Everything is moving through. But in the meantime, they still have to get everything coordinated on the backside so that we are ready to hit our summer projects, get in the queue with getting those bids out and having people come and get it basically on the books so that we can hit the ground running this summer, because the tunnel piping project needs to happen this summer while we are not in session. We're going to move the elementary patio up to this summer while we are not in session, so that those things can get done and not be delayed and interfere when kids are here day to day, as well as starting to get our roofing, because the roofing is extensive, so we need to start getting all of that in order. So they're going to come talk more about that next month, but they just didn't want any board members to be surprised that these wheels are still in motion, even though we haven't finished up with that bond process, but we are still getting things ready to go, so there's no lag. Okay.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions? No? Okay. Next on the agenda is the approval of the Michiana Contracting pay application number 1 for the lighting project for a total of $169,479, and we have a copy of that application in our packet for review. Can I have a motion to approve the Michiana Contracting pay app for that dollar amount?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. approval of the LWC invoices. There are two of them. One is for the bond study, the other one is for lighting replacements. One is for $16,738.75, and the other one is for $2,500. And we also have those in our packets, and they've been there for us to review. Anyone have any questions regarding those? Can I have a motion to approve LWC invoices 19,156 and 19,168 for the lighting replacements and for the bond study?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Next, we have the approval of the Belden Interiors quote for new carpet for the old American Legion building. It's a total of $12,760. We also have that quote in our packet for review. Anyone have any questions regarding that?
I should have noticed, was that for the half of the building?
Yes.
That's what I
Yeah,
did.
it's gonna be the, one of the entranceways and the two offices that sit in the back of the room. This would be on the restaurant side, on the bar side, and then that whole room plus that stage area.
Okay, any other questions? Can I have a motion to approve the, spend of $12,760 to Belden Interiors for the new carpet for the old American Legion building?
So moved.
Thank you, second, thank you. At some point in time, we'll
I
start
was just
calling
thinking,
it.
yeah, maybe when we get our new sign, when Sean
Something
brings
other
our
than
new
that.
signs, I'll take pictures and maybe we can make the switch to the.
There you go.
Make it.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. The next item, I'll have Carrie explain a little bit, but it is the approval of the resolution approving the form of 10th amendment to our building lease.
So, I'm gonna read exactly what they told me to read. Ice Miller sent this, so it is a resolution approving form of 10th amendment to our lease. That is how we are working our bond this time. We are amending our lease and it is the 10th amendment to this lease. So, the school corporation is funding this project through lease financing, as it has done with other past construction renovation projects. Lease financings are used by school corporations across Indiana in order to borrow for renovation and construction. This type of financing does not count against the school corporation's constitutional debt allowance. The building corporation currently owns a portion of the Argos Junior Senior High School building and a portion of Argos Elementary School building, and is leasing that real estate back to the school corporation. The lease rental due from the school corporation will be paid from property taxes. The lease rental, as shown as maximum amount in the 10th amendment, will be sufficient to pay the principal and interest due to the bond. So that's what we are asking for approval.
Anyone have any questions in regards to that? All right, can I have a motion to approve the resolution of the form of the 10th amendment to our building lease?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the approval of a resolution reapproving the building corporation. We'll also turn that over to Carrie.
So the building corporation that I just referred to, that is leasing portions of our building back, we will use that same building corporation again for this amendment, the 10th amendment of our lease. In order for the building corporation, a not-for-profit Indiana corporation, to issue tax-exempt bonds, the IRS requires that the school board reapproves the building corporation and authorize it to issue tax-exempt bonds on behalf of the school corporation. So I ask tonight that you reapprove our building corporation.
Okay, can I have a motion to reapprove the building corporation?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
They have to approve the bond, right?
Yes, and I do wanna commend Gary on this, if I can just say something. They originally thought, well, let's rewrite this lease and go out and get new, evaluations and surveys of all our property. And we said, no, this is working fine, the existing holding company's doing it, probably saved us $40,000 to $50,000 for us pushing back a little. Because we had to redo it all and all the attorneys and that, so, good job, Gary. You got it.
Thank you, but I think in the backwards way, it's just because I asked too many questions right now, but that's okay.
It's
We're-
good.
We're getting through it.
It's good for
We're
us,
getting
let's put it
through
that way.
Yes.
Okay, any additional discussion? All right, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Next, we are gonna be looking at 2026, board meeting dates, and they're in our packet, so you can take a look at them.
July 20th is the week of the fair. I would not be available that Monday, or Tuesday, or Thursday. The fair is a little bit later than, those dates move, they've been moving those dates around, so it's a little later this year
And
than last year.
And if that's the week of the fair, then I
Then you're not available either. Okay.
not till after 9 o'clock.
We're meeting at 9. We're meeting at the fairgrounds.
Script myself so
Is that time you work as well?
Starts like the 18th.
we could, but I'll just get somebody else to work that night if you're still gonna have that meeting, so.
Money's open right now.
Hmm?
You're open, right?
Would you guys like to try to move it up a week, or you want to see if we have a quorum of 3?
I'm good either way, I mean, July, get ready for school.
You could
and
change it
stuff, but
later on, would you?
Later would be worse for me, so,
Yeah.
because if we do family vacation or anything.
You may like change it later as we go through.
Later
In the year, once people.
Yeah, once we
but-
have calendars a little.
Yeah, but just,
Otherwise-
that could be an issue.
Otherwise, we'd be looking at the 13th, which would be the Monday before. I think later is also problematic getting really close to the start of school.
Yeah.
In case we have to approve any things.
Now, did you have an amendment to that, to those dates?
For January, yes, I do. I was just waiting to see if we wanted to make the change now, or if you guys wanna wait.
I would just assume change the July date now, we always move it around fair anyway, so move it up unless
So strike it and change it to July 13th.
the week before.
That is late for fair. Did they shift back a week for a reason?
No idea.
And then we need to add, as I sent text out already, we have 2 meetings in January 13th. Will be reorganization, which is gonna reorganize, have a quick finance meeting, and then regular business will be on January 20th, as we have bond business to do. I believe that is when LWC will be back to give a presentation, and then we can just conduct everything at that time. And I know you possibly.
Yeah, I won't be here.
Okay, so Jenny, I think you had a conflict, so, but I think we still had a form of group.
I don't feel on the 20th.
Okay. We really have to stick to the 20th,
I won't be here.
you won't be here on the 20th.
So if you two.
I will be here on the 13th.
And it has to be the 20th for Lon,
We
it has
do.
to be the 20th.
Yeah, that's what we were running into,
You have 3.
we do not.
Which weekend you did it?
I won't be here the 20th.
I'm looking, I don't, did you have a conflict on the
I don't-
13th or the 20th?
I don't think, I'm going back over the emails.
I thought we
I
come
thought
up
we
with,
settled too,
Yeah.
I thought we
Right,
had
too.
all of you on the 13th and then 3 on the 20th.
yeah,
It's
I
the
don't
lawyers and the bond people on the 20th, so.
And that's what I was trying to negotiate with
The other
Grace Miller,
two
and we
days.
just could not find flex just because of deadlines for postings.
Jenny's checking.
Okay.
Jenny's figured it out for you.
Those are the Tuesdays.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I am good on the 20th. It was the 12th that we moved to the 13th that I couldn't do.
Okay. 'Cause
So it was me
We
and
were
Margie and
negotiating a
Pat.
couple of days, so
Yes.
13th, we are good for your organization.
And everyone's here that day.
And 20th, we have at least three.
Right.
Okay, wonderful.
You
It
were
was the-
warned about a picture on the 13th.
I think I said that in my text.
Oh, you're ahead of it.
I will tell you again,
It's better
we'll get a
before.
picture after we reorganize on the 13th.
You go for it, Chris.
Okay, so with the addition of the 20th, and the change to the 13th for the July meeting, can I have a motion to approve the amended board meeting dates?
So moved.
Thank you, second.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is we have the approval of termination of the MACE health insurance agreement effective December 31st of this year. Carrie, if you will bring everybody up to speed.
So as, we try to keep you informed, and you know that we've endured some healthy increases to health insurance the past 2 years. 11% and then 23% again this year, which is creating quite a hardship on our staff. And we just felt like we needed to see what else we could possibly come up with, to try to provide opportunity for our staff to have equal, health coverage, but at a fair cost. And so, Mr. Spiker has contacts, we've been working on that. We were able to get a quote with UHC through another company, which we'll talk about in a moment. And we made the decision that it was in our best interest, our school's best interest, to look out for, not only the school, but for our employees, and to make this move away from Mace Trust. So we notified them on December 5th. I believe you all have a copy of that letter, and that has been sent so that we will, terminate our agreement with them as of 12/31/25. And we will pick up our new insurance on 1/1/26.
Okay, does anybody have any questions about that? Just, we have received communication back from MACE,
We have,
and we are in
we have,
continued communication with them.
we are.
So,
We are. They have received our letter, they let us know they have received our letter. We had a conversation, a phone conversation that went well, and then we've received another letter and we've responded accordingly.
Any other questions? All right, can I have a motion to approve the termination of the MACE health insurance agreement effective 12/31/25?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. And next we have, step 2, the approval of the new health insurance agreement with Apex Benefits effective January 1st, 2026.
So we were able to receive a quote from Apex Benefits that gave us health insurance coverage for our employees through United Healthcare, which is a very wide network. It is comparable coverage at much, I don't wanna say cheaper, but the premiums are much less. And this has been received very well by our employees and staff. We rolled this out last week. I cannot thank Kelly enough for the hard work that she has done. This was a very huge undertaking, to turn this around. We received the quote the day before Thanksgiving, Ben and I did, and then had a lot of thinking to do as, I've reached out, made the decision to step away and go with Apex, which means we had to turn everything around within 2 weeks so that everybody will have coverage starting on 1/1. They have been a fantastic team to work with. Couldn't be more pleased at the start of this partnership. They had representatives here in the building 2 days last week to answer questions to staff and to give a presentation. And we have successfully moved everybody over, have them enrolled, and It is commission based on their part for UHC, we'll pay them directly, we are not paying them a fee to do this. The contract is not, I don't wanna get too far in the weeds, but it is not sticky, like Mace seems to be, and it has been very clear cut, very open conversation. Thank you.
Anyone have any other questions? No? Can I have a motion for the approval of the new health insurance agreement with Apex Benefits effective 1/1/2026?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And next we have the superintendent report.
So first on our superintendent report is summer school reimbursement. I think Kelly was getting tired of me asking, did we get this back yet? And she's like, hey, guess what? We finally have summer school reimbursement back. So, the total amount submitted for reimbursement for summer school this year was $31,359.80. And we were reimbursed $18,742.19, so considerably less. Second and third grade reading, which is required now by the state to offer every summer, was reimbursed at 100%, and that total was $2,796.34, which means all the other courses submitted were only reimbursed at 53% of our costs, which came out to $15,945 and change. So we continue to offer summer school. It continues to, I feel like it continues to decline in the amount that we get reimbursed every year. And I kind of talked a little bit about that. We do feel that it's valuable. We must offer it now for second and third graders due to the laws surrounding iRead. And we do find that important. We just wish that they would reimburse closer to 100% for all classes offered. As some kids are, some students are taking this to get credit recovery or finish up credits that they need on the high school side. And then we just think it's a good opportunity for our younger students to have that really focused, small group time to work and do some catch-up skills or work, we're meeting them where they're at a little more than maybe what they were getting. So, I do feel like it's important to still continue. We may have to look at, if we're gonna continue to target every grade or how we can possibly combine those in the future. The Legion / Argos Educational Center. Let's just start talking about it that way. Just wanted to give you a quick update as you guys just approved the quote for the carpet, but things are moving along in there. We need to get some pictures and give them to you. They were busy painting over the last week or so. We had on Thanksgiving break, the custodians Krista took her crew down there and they gave it a deep clean on the side that we're working on. Just degreased and scrubbed and cleaned up a whole bunch of, just years of whatever that was down there. It smells better, it's looking better, it's brighter. With the lighting that we put into the hallways, we were pulling some of the good lights back out, or ones that could be recycled, and Grant and Kevin have done an amazing job putting new lights in there because it was very dim. It made a huge difference. And with that, we put in new ceiling tile because then it made the, you looked up and you're like, oh, that looks very yellow. So they gave everything a fresh coat of paint, and it's starting to come together and look good. I'm really excited for when we finally get the carpet in there. He is very backed up on carpet. He's not even really wanting to give me a timeline at this point. We're gonna call again tomorrow though and see if we can get just an idea of are we talking a couple months, 6, what do we need? So I know how to plan, because we're really wanting to move forward and get some of these done here and get some of the programming going that we were hoping to. Steps to come, we still need to get our internet hooked up down there. Carly and I are working on it's a 2-step process. We need to run a little bit of fiber out to the ag building so that we can pull one of the units that we are connecting to right now in the ag building that can go down there, so we don't have to buy a new unit. say that that will not only give our students access, but it should be powerful enough to run a camera or two. So Tech will be coming to kind of scope that out with us in the future, so we know what we're looking for, so we can get some cameras down there as well. So I think we've made a lot of progress on at least the one half of the building, and good things to come, so.
Looking forward to a tour.
Yes,
Mhm.
I said, we can have a meeting down there one night, we can set up on the little stage. All right, and then tag updates, I not remember, we talked about this recently, we may have just talked, not formally. We did finally receive final guidance from the state. I was hoping it would be a lot more clear than it was, but it's not. They are leaving it still with, we cannot give to more than 20% of our teachers, and that number for us is 9. They've given us what that number would be. However, the funds that they provided to us will not fund 9, even at the lowest tier. So the tiers are 3,500, 5,000, and then 7 or 7,500, but either way, you cannot fund 9 teachers even at the lowest level. So, that's not just an Argos thing, that was statewide. There's nobody that was fully funded for TAG. They did not change any of the criteria, nor did they then try to pull back on the number that you give to, they're just letting us figure this out. So, I've been in discussions with principals as well as, Beth and I have also been talking, trying to keep her informed. We are working on trying to create a model where teachers would apply. They would tell us what tier they're applying for and provide us the criteria that they, or not the criteria, but the, evidence that meets the criteria given by the state for each of those levels. And then we will go from there. We have to submit by the end of January to the state, the spreadsheet that uploads all of that criteria, which is why we would ask the teachers for it. I'm not trying to make busy work for them, just trying to meet the demands of what we are being asked. And so we're gonna have to put a little bit on to the teachers for them to supply us with, for example, if they are using an assessment to show 1 year of student growth, we need them to upload that for us so that we can look at it. If we would have, more than what we can give, apply, and they're equal, we haven't fully decided how we're going to handle that, but I think we're all kind of in the camp. If everybody is equal across the board, scoring somehow on a rubric, then we would probably just drop and we give it to the 6 that give it. So we are trying to be fair as possible. We know that this is gonna upset people, and that is not our goal. We want to award teachers for the hard work that they're doing. We wish that we could award it to many more than 6, but we do have to follow the rules that the state has given us. So we're trying to make the best of not the best situation. So as we finalize what that form looks like and get closer to that, I will keep you guys updated.
Would we be allowed to award more than 6 if we put the bill ourselves?
Yes.
If we have more
We
than
could-
6?
Yes, we actually could probably give 7. I do believe, I'd have to look at my figures. There might be, 6 might fully fund, 7 may have been a partial. And so if that's the case, like I said, I have to verify that. I would recommend that we do that instead of, because anything we don't spend, even if it's 30 cents, we have to send it back.
Oh.
So it would be better to spend and then kick the rest in than have to send some back.
Right.
A good question.
Have you heard from other area schools, are they dealing with the same situation where?
Yes, and many of them are going to this application process, and that's kind of why, I feel good about, like, if we're all kind of common, and, doesn't make it right, but it doesn't make it wrong, it just, we're trying to be similar and trying to be fair. Some schools are going based off of seniority, like if you were rated highly effective or effective, everybody's name's in the pot, we'll take the first there's more unknowns than knowns right now.
Especially if the state tweaks it the wrong way.
I do wanna say, I think the legislators were trying to do a good thing. They just don't always understand the residual effects of what they pass and how that trickles down. I do think that their thoughts were in the right place. It's just, there's a lot more layers to figure out, and it wasn't as easy as saying, we're gonna do this, and this is how we're gonna do it, when there's so many caveats. I have one more thing that I kind of penciled in, as I was thinking today, we had a roof leak last week, right in the middle of our insurance meeting. Kelly actually was here early setting up for this meeting, because we were kicking it off early in the morning, and, I got a text like at 5:30, I wasn't quite here yet, and she's like, I'm here, but I don't know what's going on with the lights, they're like flashing all over, they're on, and they're off, they're on, they're off. So by the time I got here, they were on and they stayed on, and then all of a sudden they went off, and so, we were able to get our first insurance meeting done by the Christmas lights that were up on the stage, and it was festive. Our projection screen lit up the room and up it was great. And so then we had a little bit of a break in between, and so I did some investigating with Mr. Mills, and we realized back in one of the electrical rooms, there's a leak from our roof that is running water right down onto our sound, the two huge, light boxes. So I said, don't touch anything. I got Graham, we turned the breaker off, because that looked like an electrical nightmare. And we moved our meetings, and then that is why, if you have questions, we had to move a 6th grade band concert at 19 cafeteria. We were trying to make, we didn't want to cancel it. Mr. Mills said, he was very positive, actually. He said, this is going to work great in here. We got him all set up, and we rallied around that. We have a junior high and high school concert Wednesday. As of right now, we are hoping to have that in the auditorium. We have, figured out a way, or I haven't, they figured out a way to run that on what is called panic mode. And so we've tested the load, they've moved the board over, and I don't know, they're flipping breakers off that don't need to be on. And they have tested twice now to make sure it'll endure the length of the concert, because that was my other worry, that we would get halfway through and everything would boom. So, so far it's held up twice, so we should be good to go for Wednesday. And we have somebody who is supposed to be looking through, I don't know, in Indianapolis, they're supposed to be, trying to find one of these old parts for us, because I think that equipment might be original to the auditorium. So to find a board with what we need is gonna be challenging, but they were looking in a warehouse, and if they have one, they were gonna try to send a technician to see if it would work, and if not, then they felt like the technician would be able to see what we have and figure out how to rebuild something. So I'm hopeful that we might not have this solution by Wednesday night, but we have our backup solution. And if the backup doesn't work, then we're moving it to June 2, because we've already got that cleared. So if you hear anything, and then just hope for the best that we can get these parts replaced and we're up and running without a major consequence. So I felt like I should probably bring you guys into the loop on that. Especially as two of you might be at that show.
Zane was already telling us what occurred in it was like, oh, we got a water leak, it's all over everything.
Yes, it was.
I said, okay, well, I saw the thing got moved. He's like, what do you know about it? I said, I don't know anything. I'm sure they'll tell me on Monday night. I saw the same as you, that the thing got moved. So I knew it was something.
It's been a work in progress. So, that update came probably about 1:30 this afternoon, that when they got word back from Indianapolis that they were trying to locate this spare and see how quickly they could get it to us.
All right, thank you.
Yes. Think, all the more reason to move forward with our roof project.
Mhm.
Yes.
That was my answer. Well, we have some roof things
Yes.
that work,
Yeah.
so
Well,
I'm not totally surprised at this.
The area that leak would be in is one of the priority areas that is highlighted. I've already talked to Kevin about it, actually, they're sending somebody Wednesday from Morris Roofing to pull some core samples just, again, for this behind the scenes work that they need to do, so they know how to prep their, information for the bids that need to go out. And so Morris said they would find that leak while they're up there and they will get it fixed, so I was very thankful for that. Because Brent kind of must have, they went up there that day, but it was the day, everything smelled like there were ice dams instead, it was a mess, they're like, we have no idea where it's running, and there's too much stuff up here right now, so, I'm hoping by Wednesday, that's the day it's supposed to warm up, we should be able to find that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, okay. Hopefully it all goes well. All right, thank you. Any other questions? All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is the approval of the claims. Kelly?
I'm asking for approval for 10 pages of payable claims in the amount of $845,034.38, which does include our debt service payments for the month of December, made right at the end of November, and 4 pages of payroll claims totaling $321,618.44 for a total claim docket of $1,166,652.82.
And we have the detail of that information is in our packet. Does anyone have any questions for Kelly about any particular spend? She's already gone over the debt service, which is the largest payment in there, so. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the claims? Accounts payable of $845,034.38, which includes our debt service payments and payroll for $321,618.44 for a total of $1,166,652.82. So moved. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. And then next on the agenda, we have an approval of a donation from the Sequel Wire employees toward our delinquent lunch account for a total of $1,600, and a copy of that check is in our packet. Do I have any discussion or any further questions for anybody? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the donation from Sequel Wire?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Jenny.
It's very generous of them to continue to do this for us.
Absolutely.
That's what they get for each entities for their Christmas.
It's nice.
That's nice. All right, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And then we have the financial reports.
So we'll start with our education fund. These are our expenditures through the end of November, which means we are 92% of the way through our year. And as of 2025, we are 82% of the way through our fund. So we are looking good to close out the year. Up a little bit from last year, but again, that would reflect some of our increases in our raises that we've given since that point in time. And then operations fund, again, same line there at 92%, and we are coming in at 77% of the way through the year. So, I'm very pleased with that number. I thought it was gonna be a little higher as we kept going, so, we are looking good to finish the year as we had expected. And then I'm gonna ask you to approve how we talked about last month of, those appropriations to pay, covering that money to pay some things forward for next year, and this is why we were able to do that. We still have a total cash reserve of $7,353,044, which is up since last year. And that's a nice healthy number to stay at right now. And again, our rainy day fund has remained steady at $2,064,082.
Anybody have any questions? All right, thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the approval of the 2025 year-end budget closing and encumbrances that Carrie mentioned earlier and that were provided in detail
about, we don't feel like there's, any major changes that we need to do to those, projections that we gave. Is there any questions? Do you want me to go over what we talked about last month? Of how we're setting those up for, the education fund? We were working on nursing services, the Indiana TRF, health insurance, which now can just be switched over. I wanted to make sure that is clear, that will just be used for Apex and not MACE. The Delta Dental, Anthem, PERF, security benefits, which is the VIVA and the 401A, and then we should still have, a cash balance. Operations fund, we were projecting 100,000 to MC Insurance, 27,000 to Keystone Cooperative to pay for fuel. Utilities to the town of Argos at 40,000, and then again, the remaining encumbrance of 100,000 cash balance.
Anyone have any questions? Right. Excuse me, can I have a motion to approve the 2025 year-end budget closing and encumbrances as discussed? Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Monica. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any closing comments other than a reminder that our next meeting will be January 13th, and that will be our reorganization meeting and our required finance committee meeting. Anyone else have any comments or questions or information?
I think I can speak for the board. We're very pleased with the hard work you guys have done to make this insurance switch in that short amount of time. Yeah, I know, they've done a lot.
They've done a lot of work.
It's very much appreciated, I'm sure, by the staff.
I think it was well received. I think so. Yes.
It was a great thing for our employees and for the school district, so I appreciate it very much what they've done.
Anyone else? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:45 PM? Thank you, second.
Second.
Thanks, Kara. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.